Many mental health consumers and adult home residents have diabetes or borderline diabetes. This video is about simple steps we can take to manage our diabetes and prevent it from getting worse.
Thank you very much for inviting me to speak to you about the Diabetes Co-Morbidity Initiative, a grant that was funded through the New York State Health Foundation. And the whole purpose of the grant was to help people with serious mental illness who have also been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes learn ways to self-manage their health so that they could live longer lives and live more productive lives. The main tool in the Diabetes Co-Morbidity Initiative is the Diabetes Workbook, and it provides basic information on diabetes and diabetes self-management. We talk a lot about the ABCDEFs of diabetes self-care, and these stand for the 6 important health screenings that someone with type 2 diabetes should be having on a regular basis and should be aware of. So the A is getting your A1C level checked, which is the gold card test for anyone who has type 2 diabetes or is even pre-diabetic. B is blood pressure. C is cholesterol. D stands for kidneys. We had to cheat a little bit on this one. But anyone who's diagnosed with type 2 diabetes should be having their kidney exam on a regular basis. E is eye care, and F is foot care. Now, there's a difference between the finger testing and the A1C level. The A1C level is a blood test that will give you an average of what's been going on with your glucose level, an average for the past 6 months. The glucometer, the finger stick test that you do every day, is different. That tells you where my blood glucose level is at right now. And some people with type 2 diabetes, their doctor will prescribe a glucometer for them so that they know where their blood glucose level is every day, before they eat, after they eat, before they go to bed, in the morning. Now, the two numbers are different. And some people will think, okay, I have to go to the doctor tomorrow, and I know he's going to ask me about my diabetes and how well I've been doing, so I'm going to be good for the next 2 days, so that when I go to the doctor and he does the stick test, I'll be great. Well, when you go to the doctor and he does your glucometer reading, you will be good. But if he looks at your A1C level, you might not be so good. Because if you're cheating and you're not exercising, your A1C level will be high, even though that glucometer reading is at a good place. A healthy A1C level is around 5. Between 5 and 7, that's what some doctors will consider pre-diabetes. And you may have heard this term that I'm borderline diabetic. So anyone who's borderline diabetic really should be doing all of the self-management things that someone with type 2 diabetes needs to do in order to bring that level back down to where it should be. Usually the first topic that will come up with consumers are issues around food. And we found that in doing the pilot for this initiative that there was a lot of misinformation. And the big one is, because I have a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes, I can't eat sweets, I can't eat some of my favorite foods. Well, the truth is, if you have type 2 diabetes, you can eat what everyone else eats. There are no major restrictions when it comes to a diet for someone with type 2 diabetes. The trick is portion control. So in our workbook, we talk about 2 ways that you can use portion control in self-managing your diabetes. And one method is called the plate method. So if you have a 9-inch plate and you cut it in half, half of your plate should be dedicated to vegetables. It could be a big salad, or if you like tomatoes and broccoli, whatever the vegetable of your choice is. The top of your plate, quarter of your plate is dedicated to protein, fish, chicken. The other quarter is going to be dedicated to grains, and that could be rice, a little bit of pasta. Another way of doing portion control is using your hand, and we teach this method especially if consumers go out to eat or if they're in a fast food restaurant and they'd like to get their favorite, but they still want to try to practice portion control. So your hand, your fist, could be 1 cup. Half of your fist could be half a cup. The palm of your hand could be that 3 ounce of protein that you want to portion out if you go out to eat. Tip of your thumb could be a tablespoon if you want to put a tablespoon of salad dressing on a salad. So a lot of consumers have found that if they go to the Chinese place down the corner and get General Chow's chicken, that is, I see some people smiling. I mentioned a favorite, and General Chow's chicken is very good, I have to admit. But sometimes when you go to a lot of these Chinese places, the portions that they give you are really, really big. So using the portion control, a lot of consumers have found that if they do that, they can enjoy General Chow's and you can split it up into 2 meals. So there are things that you can do, that you can implement in self-managing what you eat so that you don't have to feel that you can't eat some of your favorites, because you can. We're looking for small, doable steps, because a big part of this initiative is trying to keep it very client-centered. So, for example, when we talk about incorporating more physical activity into someone's life, a lot of our consumers are living in residential programs. A lot of our consumers are living on fixed incomes. So joining a gym or joining Crunch or doing something like that is really not a possibility for a lot of different reasons. One suggestion might be putting music on when you clean your room. It's always fun once music is on, getting to dance around while you're picking up your room or doing the dishes is a very legitimate way of adding more physical activity to your life. Sometimes taking a walk around the block, even if it's once a week, is again a very legitimate way of adding more physical activity into your life so that it's a part of your health self-management. And the self-management piece is a very, very important piece, because at ICL, it is our hope, our dream, our wish for all of our consumers to eventually transition out into the community and to live independently. And again, more information that you have, the better you're able to take care of your health, the better able you will be able to live successfully and independently in the community. So that's the Diabetes Co-Morbidity Initiative in a nutshell.
If you want to find out how to participate in these workshops, call FEGS at this number. And if you want to improve food services in your adult home, call us at CIAD, and we can help you organize a food committee so you and your fellow residents can have a voice in choosing what you eat.